Welcome to North Asia. North Asia was once a major gateway of the Northern Silk Road, linking China with Europe through Kazakhstan and Siberia. Merchants and travelers crossed endless steppes and icy rivers, carrying silk, spices, and treasures. Their journeys weren't just about trade. They connected cultures, ideas, and stories that still echo across these lands today. From majestic mountains to golden steppes and cities where ancient history meets modern life. Northern half of Asia is a region where history meets breathtaking landscapes. So, what secrets does this vast land hold? What amazing sights have remained hidden for centuries? Stay with me as we explore the hidden gems, vibrant cultures, and breathtaking beauty of North Asia, places few people have ever seen. In the frozen heart of Siberia, there's a lake that refuses to freeze. Snow buries the forest, ice locks the rivers, yet this one pool keeps glowing blue, like an open eye staring back at the sky. They call it Geyser Lake, but it's not really a geyser at all. Instead of hot water bursting into the air, the mystery happens below the surface. Streams push up circles of sand and blue clay, patterns that keep shifting, like the lake is quietly breathing. The water is so clear that even its deepest parts look shallow, like you could just step in. Fallen trees lie half-sunk at the edges, covered in moss, giving the whole place a wild, untouched feeling. And no matter how cold the winter gets, the lake never freezes. Its moving springs keep it alive. Scientists still don't know exactly how this strange lake was born. Some believe it appeared after a massive earthquake in 2003. Others say it's much older, a secret the Altai Mountains have kept hidden for centuries. For many years, swamps and thick forest kept it hidden from visitors. Only after a forest line was cleared for power cables did travelers begin to discover it. Now, before we move on, here's a fun question for you. Which country is home to Lake Baikal? Comment your answer below. From above, Kamchatka looks like a painting, with rivers carving through valleys and volcanoes standing tall like guardians. Stretching over 1,250 kilometers, this remote peninsula sits at the far eastern edge of Russia, where the Pacific Ocean meets wild, untouched land. Here, more than 30 active volcanoes create a landscape that is constantly changing, reminding visitors of the incredible power of the Earth. Thousands of years of volcanic activity and erosion have shaped deep valleys, vast plains, and steep mountain slopes. Waterfalls cascade down rocky cliffs, and steam rises from hot springs hidden in lush forests, making every step an adventure. Kamchatka's wilderness is home to unique wildlife, from bears fishing in crystal-clear rivers to birds soaring above the peaks. Long before it opened to tourists, the peninsula was so remote that even Russians needed special permission to visit. Today, travelers can finally explore its breathtaking scenery, walking trails that were once only known to scientists and locals. Legends tell of the god Gomel who lived in the volcanoes, hunting whales with his fiery fingers, a story that still sparks imagination today. The locals respect the volcanoes deeply, knowing they bring both life and destruction, shaping the culture and traditions of the region. It's a place where adventure meets history, and where every traveler can feel the heartbeat of a land that has never truly been quiet. If you are watching this, please click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but means a lot to us. In Kazakhstan, there is a mountain range that holds 30 million years of Earth's history in its layers. The Aktau Mountains, meaning White Mountains, stretch for about 30 kilometers on the right bank of the Ili River. Their slopes display multicolored sedimentary rocks from the Paleogene and Neogene periods. The rocks were deposited in ancient lakes and rivers before the region rose from the bottom of a prehistoric sea. Erosion has carved canyons and gullies, exposing strata in colors ranging from red and yellow to green, blue and white. White clay layers at the peaks represent the youngest deposits, formed on the floor of a vanished lake. The formations contain a rich paleontological record, with fossils of crocodiles, turtles, and rhinoceroses preserved in the sediments. Ancient plant remains, including subtropical species, provide evidence of a much warmer climate millions of years ago. Russian explorer Pyotr Semenov-Tianshansky recorded in the 19th century that the area once had mining traces of sulfur, alum, and metal ores. Today, though, the surface vegetation is sparse, with only saxaul shrubs appearing against the colored slopes. Large calcite crystals can be found in eroded gullies, sparkling in the dry riverbeds. Seasonal winds and streams continue to erode the fragile slopes, slowly reshaping the ridges into new forms each year. The best time to visit is between April and June, or August to October, when temperatures are moderate and the desert air is clear. As part of Altyn-İmel National Park, the Aktau Mountains are strictly protected, ensuring that their geological and fossil treasures remain intact. This is Tsagaan Suvarga, the White Stupa of Mongolia. Formed over millions of years by wind and water, the cliffs rise dramatically from the surrounding plains. Layers of clay and limestone reveal the ancient seabed that once covered this land. The cliffs reached nearly 30 meters high, creating a stunning contrast against the flat desert terrain. Colors shift from white and yellow to red and pink, changing with the angle of the sunlight throughout the day. Sunrise and sunset reveal the cliffs at their most ethereal, as soft light intensifies the natural hues. The formation is not man-made, yet its shape and name reflect local reverence, likened to sacred Buddhist stupas. Archaeological findings in the area show ancient nomadic tribes once inhabited these lands. Visitors often pause here, feeling the quiet power of both nature and history intertwined. The cliffs serve as a window into the geological and cultural story of Mongolia's past. Lake Kaindy was created by the powerful Kebun earthquake of 1911, which caused a massive landslide. The landslide blocked a gorge, forming a natural dam that filled with mountain water. Today, the lake lies at 2,000 meters above sea level in the Kolsay Lakes National Park. It measures about 400 meters in length and nearly 30 meters at its deepest point. The water has a bluish-green tint caused by limestone deposits dissolved from the surrounding rock. Rising from the surface are trunks of Tian Shan spruce trees, preserved by the icy temperatures. This unique scene is known as the Sunken Forest, with bare treetops standing like white pillars. Beneath the water, divers can still see branches and roots intact after more than a century. In winter, the frozen surface is used for ice diving and trout fishing. The Kaindy River enters the lake through a rocky passage about 20 meters high, adding to the scenery. From above, the Ak-Sai Glacier looks like a massive white horseshoe tucked between rugged peaks. It sits at 3,500 meters above sea level in the Ala Archa Gorge, just a short drive from Bishkek. The glacier is protected from southern winds by surrounding peaks, which helps it maintain a thick ice layer throughout the year. Some of the famous mountains nearby include Tekes at 4,441 meters, Aktau at 4,620 meters, Corona at 4,860 meters, and Issyk-Kul at 4,400 meters. The name Ak-Sai means White Valley, reflecting the bright, icy landscape that stretches across the gorge. Hikers can explore more than 80 different routes on the glacier, ranging from easy paths to challenging climbs. The Ak-Sai Glacier is located in the upper reaches of the Ak-Sai River Valley, which travelers can reach in about an hour from Almaty via the Upper Talgar Highway. Visitors can take a horse ride along the gorge to reach higher sections of the glacier, experiencing the valley at a slower pace. It is possible to organize either a one-day hike or a multi-day trek through the Zalysky Alatau Mountains, starting from this area. The trails from Ak-Sai Glacier eventually connect back toward Almaty, making it accessible while still feeling remote and wild. For travelers seeking adventure and peace at the same time, Issyk-Kul Lake is the answer. Here, your worries melt away with every ripple of its crystal-clear waters. Stretching 182 kilometers from west to east and 58 kilometers from north to south, Issyk-Kul is the second largest mountain lake in the world. Its waters are surprisingly warm, never freezing even in the coldest winters, giving the lake its name, which means warm lake in Kyrgyz. Surrounded by snow-capped mountains, the sunny slopes of Kungoy-Alatu in the north and the shady Turskay-Alatu in the south, the lake enjoys a gentle microclimate all year round. You can watch fish swimming deep below, up to 47 meters in winter, making the water feel alive with hidden life. Over 118 rivers and streams flow into Issyk-Kul, including mineral hot springs, but none flow out. This gives the lake a unique salty taste and healing qualities, making it a natural wellness retreat. Along the shoreline, charming towns and villages welcome visitors with warm hospitality. In summer, travelers gather to swim, sunbathe, or explore the vibrant local culture. Legends say it was formed from the tears of grieving girls after a city sank underground, or from a river of water that flooded a palace after a tragic love story. Archaeologists have even discovered traces of ancient civilizations at the lake's bottom, proving that this place has been magical for thousands of years. There is a land where temperatures can swing more than 35 degrees in a single day. This is the Gobi Desert. Situated on a plateau between 910 and 1,520 meters above sea level, it is one of the coldest deserts on Earth. Winter temperatures can drop to a bone-chilling -40 degrees Celsius, while summer highs may soar to 45 degrees. Most of the Gobi is rocky and barren, with only sparse vegetation clinging to cracks in stone and soil. Despite receiving only about 194 millimeters of rain each year, the desert experiences sudden bursts of wind-driven snow from the Siberian steppes. These extreme conditions shape not only the land, but also the survival strategies of the desert's plants and animals. Vegetation is sparse, yet resilient, forming fragile ecosystems that shift with the seasons and climate. Over time, strong winds have sculpted bare rock surfaces, leaving behind vast expanses of exposed stone rather than sand. Desertification is a growing concern, especially along the southern edges, where grasslands are slowly overtaken by sand and dust. The shifting boundaries between desert and grassland create a constantly changing landscape, reflecting the desert's restless nature. In the Gobi, one witnesses not just a desert, but a land of dramatic contrasts and survival against extreme forces of nature. Is this stunning place on your travel list? Comment 1 if you've been there, or 2 if you're dreaming of going. Lake Kapchagay isn't a natural lake at all. It's one of the largest man-made reservoirs in Central Asia. Created by the Kapchagay Dam on the Ili River between 1965 and 1980, the lake stretches 180 kilometers long and up to 22 kilometers wide, plunging to depths of 50 meters. It was engineered to irrigate arid farmland, supply fresh water, and generate electricity for the Almaty region. To fill the reservoir, water was diverted from the Ili, causing Lake Balkhash to shrink dramatically. By the mid-1980s, Balkhash had lost nearly 40 cubic kilometers of water, and its shoreline retreated more than 2 meters, sparking ecological alarm. Though inflows have since stabilized, the lake remains under pressure, and its water quality is still in decline. Its wide beaches and warm summers have turned it into Almaty's weekend playground, drawing thousands of visitors to swim, fish, and camp along its shores. What began as a Soviet hydro-engineering experiment is now both an economic lifeline and a leisure escape. The Chulyshman River begins at Lake Issyk-Kul, situated at an altitude of about 2,200 meters in the Altai Mountains. It stretches for 241 kilometers, flowing through high mountain valleys before emptying into Lake Telitskoye. The river's drainage basin covers approximately 16,800 square kilometers, making it a major water source in the region. Chulyshman freezes each winter, typically from late October to early December, and thaws between late March and early May. During the spring melt, the river reaches its peak flow, with water levels rising to 564 cubic meters per second in June. In contrast, the lowest flow occurs in March, dropping to around 15.9 cubic meters per second. Chulyshman supplies about 70% of the water that feeds into Lake Telitskoye. Its waters eventually continue through the Ili River and the Ob, ultimately reaching the Kara Sea. The river valley is remote and isolated, flanked by mountain slopes ranging from 500 to 800 meters in height. This seclusion has allowed unique flora and fauna to thrive along the river, creating a rich and diverse ecosystem. We get info from lots of sources, so if something seems off, or you've got more to add, leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. The Katun River originates from the glaciers on the southwestern slope of Belukha Mountain, the highest peak in the Altai. It stretches for 688 kilometers, flowing through both the Altai Republic and Altai Krai before joining the Ili River to form the Ob. The river freezes each winter, typically from late November to early April, and thaws as spring approaches. Its upper reaches run through remote valleys, where human settlements are scarce and nature dominates the landscape. Glacial meltwater feeds the river, giving it a cloudy gray color during the spring and summer months. By late autumn, groundwater becomes the main source, turning the river into a striking turquoise. The Katun's flow changes constantly, shifting from fast rapids to calm stretches, depending on the terrain. Several tributaries, including the Koksa, Chuya, and Argut merge into the Katun along its path. Pine forests and alpine meadows line many parts of the river, creating a mix of rugged and soft scenery. Wildlife thrives along the river, including birds, deer, and other species that rely on its waters. By the time the Katun joins the Biya, it has shaped the land, supported communities, and carried the energy of the Altai Mountains for nearly 700 kilometers. Uchar waterfall is the tallest waterfall in the Altai Mountains, with water dropping from a height of 160 meters. It is located on the Chulcha River within the Altai Biosphere Reserve, surrounded by rugged gorges. In the local Altai dialect, the word Uchar means unapproachable, reflecting the waterfall's remote and dramatic location. Geologists believe the waterfall formed after an 11-point earthquake in 1898, which caused a sinkhole in the gorge. Unlike typical vertical waterfalls, Uchar is a stepped cascade, with water tumbling over enormous boulders. The river's streams strike the stones with great force, creating a rising cloud of mist visible from a distance. The waterfall remained largely unknown until 1981, when tourists first discovered the site. The waterfall stands as a symbol of the Altai Mountains' geological history and the raw energy of nature. Sary-Chelek Lake is located at 1,887 meters above sea level in the Sary-Chelek Nature Reserve, western Kyrgyzstan. The lake covers 4.92 square kilometers, stretches 7.5 kilometers long, and reaches a maximum depth of 234 meters. It was created by a landslide that blocked the Issyk-Kul River, forming this alpine basin in the Chatkal mountain range. Sary-Chelek is the largest of 7 alpine lakes in the UNESCO-declared Sary-Chelek Biosphere Reserve, established in 1978. The lake is surrounded by snow-capped mountains, alpine meadows, taiga forests, and walnut and fruit trees, creating a diverse landscape. Its name translates to yellow ladle, possibly inspired by golden reflections of fall foliage on the water's surface. Local legend tells of a beekeeper who named the lake after the color of his honey while working on its shore. Sary-Chelek supports fish populations and provides habitats for migratory birds and other wildlife. Imagine a valley that determined the rise and fall of empires for more than 2,000 years. This is the Orkhon Valley. Stretching along the Orkhon River in central Mongolia, it was once the heart of imperial power on the steppes. The valley's first mark on history comes from a stone stele with Orkhon inscriptions set up by Bilge Khan, an 8th century Gokturk ruler. The surrounding mountains were sacred in Tengriism, seen as the axis connecting heaven and earth. Whoever controlled the valley held authority over Turkic tribes, making it a strategic jewel of the steppes. During Khitan domination, the stele was reinscribed in 3 languages, recording the deeds of a Khitan leader. Archaeological evidence shows successive Turkic capitals were established here, highlighting its long-term political importance. The valley became a hub for trade, culture, and spiritual life, linking nomadic traditions with imperial administration. Its rivers, grasslands, and sacred mountains preserve the stories of rulers, warriors, and scholars who once walked these lands. A river that once rivaled the Amu Darya in the eyes of Turkic tribes still carves its way through Central Asia today. The Ili River begins high in the Tian Shan Mountains, where the Tekes and Kunes rivers merge, and flows nearly 1,440 kilometers before emptying into Lake Balkhash. Over half of that journey lies within Kazakhstan, feeding one of the region's most important water basins, Zatisu, the land of 7 rivers. Along its course, the Ili fans out into vast wetlands, forming a delta rich with lakes, marshes, and migratory bird habitats. Mahmud al-Kashgari's 11th century dictionary already described it as a river so vital that Turkic peoples compared it to their own Ceyhun, the Amu Darya. In modern Kazakhstan, its waters irrigate vast fields of wheat, sugar beets, and vegetables. The river is also a vital migration corridor for fish, including carp and pike, which support local fisheries. For Uyghur and Kazakh communities, the Ili has long carried cultural meaning, woven into songs and oral traditions. In Xinjiang, the Ili Valley is sometimes called the Switzerland of the East for its fertile plains and mountain backdrop. Today, the Ili is dammed at Kapchagay, powering a hydroelectric plant and creating an enormous reservoir that supplies water to both cities and farms. Yet these projects come with risks. Diverting so much water has pushed nearby Lake Balkhash into ecological decline. For many scientists, the Ili's future is a warning that this area could face another Aral Sea-style disaster if water use is not carefully managed. Despite its beauty and productivity, the Ili today is a frontier of competition between energy demands, agriculture, and conservation. Just 100 kilometers from the city of Shymkent lies a canyon plunging 500 meters into the earth. Aksu Canyon stretches for 15 kilometers through the northwestern Tian Shan Mountains. The Aksu River carved its path here over millions of years, leaving towering cliffs on both sides. With peaks above 4,000 meters nearby, the canyon has a striking alpine setting. The climate is typical of high mountains, with hot days and cold nights, even in summer. Aksu Canyon stands out not only for its size but also for its accessibility, being one of the few wild landscapes so close to a major city. Imagine a lake so deep it could swallow the tallest skyscrapers, so old it has witnessed 25 million years of Earth's history. Its name is Lake Baikal, tucked away in southern Siberia, Russia, between Irkutsk Oblast and the Republic of Buryatia. Stretching over 31,700 square kilometers, it is slightly larger than Belgium, yet it holds more fresh water than all the North American Great Lakes combined. The water is incredibly clear, so clear that on a sunny day, you can see hundreds of feet below the surface. Surrounded by the majestic Baikal Mountains, the Barguzin Range, and the Primorsky Range, the lake is embraced by vast forests and untouched wilderness. It is home to thousands of species, many found nowhere else on Earth, from tiny freshwater sponges to the unique Baikal seal. Lake Baikal is divided into 3 basins: north, central, and south, each with its own depth and character, separated by underwater ridges and fault zones. The lake itself sits in a rift valley, where the Earth's crust is slowly pulling apart, making it one of the most geologically active places on the planet. With 27 islands scattered across its surface, the largest, Orkhon, stretches 72 kilometers long, offering landscapes that seem almost magical. Over 330 rivers feed into the lake, and only one river, the Angara, carries water out, creating a delicate balance that has lasted millions of years. The Kurai steppe is a high mountain grassland in Russia's Altai region, sitting 1,500 to 1,600 meters above sea level. It is surrounded by the Kurai Range to the northeast and the North Chuya Range to the southwest, creating a dramatic mountainous backdrop. The steppe has a harsh climate, with summer lasting only 55 to 65 days, large temperature swings between day and night, and frequent droughts. Green meadows stretch across the steppe, dotted with rocky peaks and small lakes, some of which are salty. The Chuya River and its tributaries flow through the area, adding life and movement to the open landscape. Travelers should bring warm clothes and plenty of drinking water, because the weather can change quickly and the region is remote. The Kurai steppe combines extreme climate, rich history, and striking landscapes, making it a unique destination for adventurers and history lovers alike. The Tekes River runs for 438 kilometers, beginning on the northern slopes of the Tsagaan-Aktau range. About 100 kilometers of its length flow through Kazakhstan, including 40 kilometers entirely inside the country. Another 60 kilometers form part of the border between Kazakhstan and China. The river belongs to the Ili River basin, which eventually feeds into Lake Balkhash. Clear waters run over pebble beds, supporting several native fish species. Forests of spruce and birch grow along parts of the valley, giving way to open steppe higher up. With its combination of river, meadow, and forest, the Tekes is considered one of the most scenic valleys in Almaty region. Hidden in the northern Tian Shan Mountains lies one of Kazakhstan's richest ecological reserves. Kolsay Lakes National Park covers valleys and ridges southeast of Almaty, near the border with Kyrgyzstan. The lakes lie at elevations ranging from 1,800 to 2,800 meters, creating clear zones of vegetation by altitude. Because of this vertical diversity, the park supports both steppe species and true alpine wildlife within a small area. The park extends across the Tian Shan Montane, steppe and meadows ecoregion, which receives enough rainfall to support dense forests and alpine grasslands. UNESCO has recognized it as part of the World Network of Biosphere Reserves for its natural significance. Scientists have documented 704 species of plants here, including medicinal varieties like Ili barberry, apricot, hawthorn, and Alberta iris. The park is home to 50 species of mammals and 197 species of birds, along with amphibians such as the green toad. Among its rare mammals are the snow leopard, Tian Shan brown bear, Turkestan lynx, Argali sheep, and stone marten. the region's climate brings sharp temperature changes. In July, daytime heat can reach 30 degrees Celsius, but nights often drop below freezing. With 72% of its territory under strict protection, Kolsay Lakes National Park preserves one of Asia's last untouched high mountain ecosystems. Tourism here is carefully managed, with designated trails and camping zones to reduce human impact. According to legend, Timur the Great failed to build a mosque until a dream revealed he must first honor a forgotten saint. That saint was Arystanbab, a 12th century religious teacher and mentor of Khoja Ahmed Yasawi. The first mausoleum was built over his grave in the 14th century, but earthquakes repeatedly destroyed it. The current structure, dating largely to the early 20th century, includes 2 domes, a mosque, and a corridor connecting the tomb. The facade features a large central arch, flanked by minarets, making it one of the most recognizable shrines in Kazakhstan. Renovations in 1909 and again in 1971 restored the mausoleum after structural damage from groundwater. Since 1982, the Arystanbab Mausoleum has been protected as a state monument of Kazakhstan. Charyn Canyon stretches for about 154 kilometers along the Charyn River in southeastern Kazakhstan. It lies 200 kilometers east of Almaty, close to the Kazakh-Chinese border. The canyon is between 150 and 300 meters deep in many sections. Its sedimentary red sandstone has been shaped by wind and water for millions of years. The Valley of Castles is the most famous section, with towers of rock that look like man-made fortresses. The Charyn River, 393 kilometers long, originates from the Tian Shan Mountains and carved this gorge. Erosion processes here are described as atmogenic, caused by air, condensation, and wind action. Because of its colorful sandstone cliffs, It is often compared to the Grand Canyon in the United States. The canyon became part of Charyn National Park in 2004 for conservation and tourism. The protected area covers districts including Uyghur, Rhinebeck, and Enbekshi-Kazakh. Rock formations here have earned nicknames from visitors resembling animals and legendary figures. Temperatures vary greatly, with scorching summers and cold winters typical of a semi-desert climate. In 2021, Kazakhstan announced new eco-tourism projects in the canyon, linking nature with heritage. The site is now both a natural monument and a scientific reserve under state protection. Shymbulak is the largest ski resort in Central Asia, located near Almaty, Kazakhstan. It sits in the upper Medeyu Valley of the Zylysky-Alatau range at 2,200 meters above sea level. The resort is about 25 kilometers south of Almaty and reached via the Medeyu Road. Shymbulak has mild winters, over 300 sunny days a year, and snow from November to May. It was discovered by amateur skiers in the 1940s as a downhill skiing site. In 1954, the first 1,500-meter ski tow was constructed to replace hiking access. In 1983, it became the official Olympic ski training center for the Soviet Union. These include Shymbulak Talgar for downhill, and Shymbulak for slalom and giant slalom. Today, Shymbulak combines professional ski slopes with leisure activities for tourists. Rising like a white wall above the city of Almaty, the Trans-Ili Alatau forms the northernmost range of the Great Tian Shan Mountains. Stretching for about 350 kilometers, its ridges are crowned by glaciers and snowy peaks, the highest of which is Talgar Peak at 4,973 meters. The name Alatau refers to mountains where forests, meadows, and rocky slopes alternate, creating a mosaic of colors across the landscape. The Russian geographer Pyotr Semenov first described the mountains in 1856, calling them the Trans-Ili range after seeing them rise beyond the Ili River. The climate here is sharply continental. Summers are warm and dry in the foothills, but the high ridges remain cold and snow-covered for much of the year. In the heart of Almaty's Panfilov Park rises the Ascension Cathedral, a masterpiece of woodwork completed in 1907. At 56 meters tall, it is one of the tallest wooden churches in the world, built entirely without nails. Only a few years after its completion, the cathedral faced the Great Earthquake of 1911. While many stone buildings collapsed, the wooden cathedral survived with minimal damage. For the faithful, this resilience was seen as a miracle, proof of divine protection over the church. Its most recent restoration, finished in 2020, revived its vibrant icons and bell towers, making it once again a living center of worship. Hidden deep in the Dzungarian Aktau Mountains, the Burkhan-Bulak waterfall plunges in a cascade of roaring water, the tallest in Kazakhstan. At 2,000 meters above sea level, the falls drop 168 meters in total, splitting into several dramatic tiers. Mist rises from the cliffs, while the roar of the water echoes through ancient fir forests. The name Burkhan-Bulak means sacred spring, and for centuries locals have regarded it as a place of cleansing and spiritual renewal. According to legend, Burkhan loved a woman named Kurai, but his mother did not approve. The two ran away together and became the river, while his mother's endless tears formed a small stream nearby. Reaching the falls is not easy. The road winds through high passes and narrow gorges, and in some seasons, only off-road vehicles and long hikes can get you there. Many visitors speak of Burkhan-Bulak not simply as a site, but as a force of nature, a sacred shrine hidden in the wilderness. Burabay National Park is one of Kazakhstan's most famous natural treasures, often called the Pearl of Kazakhstan. The park covers nearly 130,000 hectares of forests, lakes, and rolling hills, centered around the Kokshetau Massif. Pine and birch forests dominate the landscape, home to deer, wild boars, lynxes, wolves, and over 300 species of birds. In total, scientists have recorded 757 species of plants, many of them rare and protected. Burabay's history of protection goes back to 1898, when it was first declared a state forest. Over the years, it became a spa town, then a nature reserve, and in 2000, it was officially turned into a national park. The climate here is continental, with snowy winters and warm summers, making it a popular destination year-round. Legends say that when the Kazakh steppes were left dry and empty, the Creator gathered the world's most beautiful lakes, mountains, and forests, and scattered them here, giving the people Burabay. With its mirror-like lakes, pine-scented air, and mythical past, Burabay feels less like a park and more like a living legend carved into the Kazakh steppe. Astana, the capital of Kazakhstan, is a city of constant reinvention. Founded in 1830 as a small settlement called Akmoli, it has changed names several times. From Akmolinsk to Tsalinograd, to Akmola, then Astana, Nur-Sultan, and finally back to Astana in 2022. Today, the city stands on the banks of the Issyk-Kul River, with a population of over 1.4 million people. Its transformation began in 1997, when it replaced Almaty as the national capital. Japanese architect Kisho Kurokawa designed the master plan, giving Astana its futuristic skyline. Astana has also hosted major international events, including the 2011 Asian Winter Games and Expo 2017, which focused on future energy. Beyond politics and business, the city is also a cultural hub, home to theaters, museums, and the Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions. Astana's skyline is a blend of tradition and modernity, where glass towers rise beside monuments rich in symbolism. The Bayturek Tower, shaped like a tree of life holding a golden egg, has become the city's most iconic landmark. Wide boulevards and spacious squares reflect the vision of a capital built to inspire openness and ambition. As night falls, Astana glows with lights, turning the steppe city into a dazzling stage for its role as the heart of a young and independent Kazakhstan. Built in 1585, Erden-Zu is the oldest surviving Buddhist monastery in Mongolia. It stands in Karakoram, a Burkhan-Bulak province, within the Orkhon Valley Cultural Landscape, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Abtai Sain Khan, after meeting the third Dalai Lama, ordered its construction as he declared Tibetan Buddhism the state religion. Stones from the ruins of ancient Karakoram were repurposed to build its walls and temples. The monastery was designed with 108 stupas around its wall, symbolizing a Buddhist rosary. It was damaged in 1688 during conflicts between the Dzungars and the Khalkha Mongols. For decades, it functioned as a showcase of religious tolerance under communism. Today, it serves both as an active religious site and a museum open to visitors. At 40 meters tall, the Genghis Khan equestrian statue is the largest horseman statue in the world. It rises from Sonjin Bulldog, 54 kilometers east of Ulaanbaatar, on the banks of the Tul River. The site was chosen because legend says Genghis Khan found a whip here, a symbol of destiny and fortune. Facing east, the statue looks toward his birthplace and the rising Sunday. Visitors can ride an elevator inside the horse and emerge on the observation deck atop its head. From there, sweeping views stretch across the Tul River Valley and the Kaindy Mountains. Genghis Khan, depicted with a golden whip, recalls the legendary omen of his youth. Mongolian chronicles say that after losing his father and suffering exile, young Temujin found a whip on his return from Toyril Khan. That discovery was seen as a divine sign that his destiny was to rule. The statue stands not just as a monument, but as a symbol of national pride and resilience. Did you know these mountains are older than most of the life we see on Earth today? The Altai began to rise over 500 million years ago, when massive tectonic collisions reshaped Central Asia. Unlike the Alps or Rockies, their peaks were not born in one burst, but through repeated upheavals and erosion. Ancient glaciers carved the valleys into U-shapes, leaving behind cliffs and ridges as sharp as broken glass. Even now, earthquakes still shake the region, proof that the earth beneath is restless. The highest summits soar above 14,000 feet, their slopes scarred by ice and wind over countless ages. In some basins, soft steppe plains lie between the mountains, filled with sediments from rivers that once thundered through. Geologists find here nearly every kind of rock, from volcanic layers to marble polished by pressure underground. Gold, mercury, and rare metals lie hidden in the crust, drawing miners since the 20th century. Every cliff is a chapter of Earth's deep past, from the first landmasses to the last ice age. Baikal, meaning rich city, was established around 757 as a northern administrative center of the Uyghur Khaganate. Its construction was ordered by King Minshur and carried out by skilled Sogdian and Chinese laborers. The city became a hub for merchants and preachers, connecting Central Asia with distant lands. Sogdian missionaries translated Buddhist texts into the Uyghur language, spreading knowledge and culture. Shymbulak's streets once bustled with artisans, including goldsmiths and jewelers, whose work drew travelers from afar. The city was fortified with clay walls, of which only the eastern and northern sections remain, standing 4 meters high. Small holes in the fortress walls hint at watchful guards and strategies for defense. In 840, invading Kyrgyz tribes destroyed Baikal, burning all books and religious sutras. Today, visitors see remnants of a once vibrant city, a testament to centuries of culture and human endeavor. Have you ever heard sand sing? The Kongoran Els, or singing sands, makes this incredible sound every day. These vast dunes stretch across the southern Gobi Desert, covering hundreds of square kilometers with waves of golden sand. The dunes rise as high as 300 meters, curving gracefully before ending in sharp, wind-carved edges. As sunlight shifts, the sands change color from pale yellow to warm white, creating an ever-changing desert palette. Winds move the sand constantly, reshaping the dunes into new patterns with each passing day. Scientists believe a thin layer of slate on sand grains amplifies this natural music, though heat and movement also play a role. Nomads graze camels and horses here, maintaining a centuries-old relationship with the desert ecosystem. Standing on the crest, you experience the desert's beauty, movement, and music, a natural wonder unlike anywhere else in the world. Nestled in a valley along the Ili River, at 1,300 meters above sea level, Ulaanbaatar is Mongolia's vibrant capital. Founded in 1639 as a nomadic Buddhist monastic center, it was originally known as Urgu, meaning palace. Over the centuries, it became a spiritual hub for the Gelag lineage of Tibetan Buddhism, led by the Jebsundamba Kutuktu. When trade routes opened between Beijing and Kamchatka in the 18th century, the city transformed into a key point of commerce and culture. Following the collapse of the Qing dynasty, it became the seat of independence efforts, ultimately forming the Bogd Khanate in 1911. In 1924, with the establishment of the Mongolian People's Republic, the city was officially renamed Ulaanbaatar, or Red Hero. The name symbolized the revolutionary spirit and determination of the Mongolian people to govern themselves independently. Modern urban planning in the 1950s reshaped the city, replacing many old Gyer districts with Soviet-style flats. Ulaanbaatar is home to over 1.6 million people, almost half of Mongolia's population, blending ancient traditions with modern life. It serves as the cultural, financial, and transportation heart of the country, linking nomadic heritage with contemporary progress. In the heart of the Gobi Desert, cliffs of deep red reveal secrets older than human history. Bayanzag, or the Flaming Cliffs, gained fame when Roy Chapman Andrews discovered the first dinosaur eggs here in the 1920s. These cliffs are part of the Jadokta Formation, composed of sandstones formed by ancient river and desert systems. Fossils found here include small dinosaurs like Velociraptor and early mammals, giving scientists a window into the late Cretaceous. The vivid orange and red tones appear especially dramatic at sunset, highlighting the cliff's unique mineral composition. Excavations continue under strict protection, preserving the site for both research and education. The surrounding steppe stretches for kilometers, offering insight into the harsh but diverse ecosystem of the Gobi region. Geological layers reveal evidence of ancient desert winds and episodic floods that shaped the cliffs over millions of years. The cliff's name reflects both their striking coloration and the intense sunlight that illuminates them daily. Visitors can explore not only fossil sites, but also the vast desert landscape that remains largely unchanged for centuries. Baga-Gazrian Chulu is a granite outcrop located in Dungovi Province, central Mongolia, forming part of the transition zone between the steppe and Gobi Desert. The formation consists of weathered granite boulders clustered into low hills, narrow valleys, and small canyons, shaped over millions of years by wind, water, and temperature fluctuations. The average elevation of the area is about 1,700 meters above sea level, creating a dry, elevated environment. Vegetation includes drought-resistant grasses, shrubs, and small wildflowers growing in rock crevices, supporting local biodiversity. The site is home to small mammals, reptiles, and steppe-adapted bird species that rely on rocky shelters for nesting. Archaeological findings indicate that nomadic tribes historically traversed this area, leaving traces of temporary camps and stone tools. The granite formations create microclimates with shade and wind protection, allowing plants and animals to survive harsh conditions. The local government recognizes the area as a protected site to conserve its geological, ecological, and cultural significance. Baga-Gazrian Chulu serves as an open-air classroom for geology and ecology studies, offering insight into long-term natural processes. Elsin Tasarkai is part of the Mongol Els, an 80-kilometer-long sand dune system in Burkhan-Bulak province, Mongolia. The dunes average 5 kilometers in width and rise to approximately 40 meters in height. Winds continually reshape the sand, forming ridges, ripples, and hollows, creating an ever-changing desert landscape. The surrounding area includes steppe hills, rare shrubs, and a small riverside forest, forming a unique combination of Gobi style and forest steppe ecosystems. Plant species are sparse, but drought-tolerant grasses and occasional wildflowers grow in sheltered areas, providing small habitats for insects and birds. Seasonal temperature variation ranges from 30 degrees Celsius in winter to 35 degrees Celsius in summer, creating extreme environmental conditions. The dunes lie approximately 280 kilometers west of Ulaanbaatar and 80 kilometers east of Karakorum, the ancient Mongol capital. Deep within the Burkhan-Bulak Mountains, Yol Valley has preserved thick ice layers year-round for decades, a rare phenomenon in Mongolia. The valley sits 2,800 meters above sea level and stretches approximately 40 kilometers long, with cliffs rising up to 200 meters high. Yol Valley is part of Gobi Burkhan-Bulak National Park, a protected area since 1965, covering 70 square kilometers. It is named after the lammergeier, known locally as Yol, a white-bearded vulture that lives only in Central Asia. The gorge is deep and narrow, blocking direct sunlight for much of the day, which historically maintained permanent ice layers. The valley's rocky slopes provide nesting sites for birds of prey and shelter for small mammals adapted to high-altitude conditions. Yol Valley lies 62 kilometers northwest of Dalanzadgad city, making it accessible for scientific research and ecotourism. Visitors can observe geological formations and rare birds, offering insight into Mongolia's highland ecology. Issyk-Kul Lake lies at 347 meters above sea level in east-central Kazakhstan, forming part of the Balkhash-Issyk-Kul Basin. The lake sits at the northwest extension of the Jungarian Gate, a valley linking Kazakhstan's uplands with arid northwest China. It covers 2,650 square kilometers, reaches 54 meters at maximum depth, and holds a volume of 58.6 cubic kilometers. It receives water from several rivers, including the Uchar and Emil, and connects seasonally to Lake Jalanashkol through a 10-kilometer-long slough. Issyk-Kul Lake is a salt lake with a drainage basin of 65,200 square kilometers, surrounded by steppe and fault-bounded mountains. The lake was historically marked on Chinese maps as the eastern boundary of the Kangju state in the 1st century BCE. Issyk-Kul's waters have been reputed for medicinal properties since the Silk Road era, attracting visitors seeking therapeutic benefits. Its surrounding landscape includes alluvial fans, faulted mountains, and seasonal wetlands, creating diverse habitats for fish, birds, and steppe wildlife. Imagine a road winding through a deep mountain gorge, surrounded by forests and snow-capped peaks. This is Barskun Gorge, located just 6 kilometers from Tamga village in Kyrgyzstan, stretching over 30 kilometers. At the lower slopes, steppe grasses and scattered bushes cover the hills, gradually giving way to dense spruce and fir forests. The forests are filled with Tian Shan firs, spruces, and colorful shrubs like barberry, mountain ash, sea buckthorn, currant, raspberry, dog rose, and honeysuckle. Above 2,800 meters, the trees thin out, replaced by alpine meadows, rocky outcrops, and groves of juniper. Glaciers sit nearby, and the mountain road winds through more than 20 serpentines, offering stunning views of the surrounding peaks. Several waterfalls cascade along the gorge, including the main Barskun waterfall, which is 24 meters high and a protected natural monument since 1975. The waterfall sits at 2,495 meters above sea level, fed by a glacier north of Jangi-Korgan Pass at 3,745 meters. Visitors walk about 1,600 meters from the Barskun Kumtor Road to reach it, passing smaller waterfalls like Tears of the Barsa. The mist from the waterfalls forms ice in winter, sparkling in the sunlight, but visitors must take care on slippery surfaces. Legends say the main waterfall was created from the tears of a female leopard mourning her cubs, adding a story to the natural beauty of the gorge. If you know this legend or have heard another version, leave a comment and share with us. Perched on the Golden Horn Bay of the Sea of Japan, Vladivostok is Russia's largest Pacific port. Vladivostok lies only 45 kilometers from the China-Russia border and 134 kilometers from the North Korea-Russia border. Founded in 1860 after the Treaty of Agun, the city started as a Russian military outpost in what was historically Outer Manchuria. By 1872, it became the main Russian naval base on the Pacific, accelerating its growth and strategic importance. In 1914, the population exceeded 100,000, with large Russian and Asian communities shaping a diverse city life. During the Russian Revolution, the city was occupied by White Russian and Allied forces until the Red Army took control in 1922. Vladivostok is the eastern terminus of the Trans-Siberian Railway, connecting it to the rest of Russia and attracting millions of visitors annually. The city hosts the headquarters of the Russian Pacific Fleet and remains a key cultural, scientific, and economic hub in the Far East. Its mix of Russian architecture and Asian geographic context has earned it the nickname Europe in the Far East. Many foreign consulates and international businesses maintain offices here, reflecting Vladivostok's global importance. Novosibirsk is the largest city in southwestern Siberia and the administrative center of the Siberian Federal District. The city lies on the banks of the Ob River and is the largest city in Asian Russia. It was founded in 1893 at a key crossing point for the future Trans-Siberian Railway. Originally named Novonikolayevsk in honor of Emperor Nicholas II, the city grew rapidly as a transport and industrial hub. The Novosibirsk Rail Bridge was a major engineering project that helped connect Siberia with the rest of Russia. During the Russian Civil War, the city suffered damage but recovered quickly in the early Soviet period. In 1926, the city was renamed Novosibirsk, marking a new era of growth and development. Under Stalin, Novosibirsk became one of Siberia's largest industrial centers, producing goods for the entire region. During World War II, many factories were relocated to Novosibirsk from Western Russia to protect them from conflict. Today, the city is home to a diverse population, cultural institutions, and major educational centers. Novosibirsk's location on the Ob River continues to make it a crucial transportation and logistics hub. The city blends historical architecture with modern developments, reflecting its rapid growth over the last century. Did you know that Khabarovsk sits where two mighty rivers meet, just a short distance from the China-Russia border? This strategic location shaped the city's history, culture, and role in the Russian Far East. Khabarovsk has grown from a remote military outpost into a major riverside hub. It was originally called Khabarovka and later renamed after the explorer E.P. Khabarov, who charted the Amur River basin in the 17th century. Khabarovsk served as the administrative center of the Far Eastern Federal District from 2002 to 2018. Hidden in the icy waters of Lake Baikal lies Orkhon Island, a mystical land revered for centuries by shamans, where forests thrive and legends come alive. This island is the largest in Lake Baikal and the third largest lake-bound island in the world, stretching over 730 square kilometers. Its landscape is breathtaking, with long, rugged cliffs and forests that seem to whisper ancient secrets. Orkhon's name comes from the Buryat language, meaning either woody or dry. Both words perfectly describe the island today. The weather here is surprisingly dry, with the sun shining more than 300 days a year, and strong winds that sweep across the mountains almost half the year. Orkhon is more than just nature. It is the heart of Buryat culture and spirituality. Shamans have walked its forests for centuries, performing rituals and listening to the voices of spirits that are said to inhabit every corner of the island. Many visitors feel a deep sense of calm and wonder as they explore the island, sensing the connection between nature and mysticism. If you visit in June or September, you can enjoy quiet, peaceful landscapes, while July and August bring warm waters perfect for swimming. Every step on Orkhon Island is like walking through a living legend, where the past and present meet under the endless Siberian sky. Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky is the main city of the Kamchatka Peninsula, sitting along the scenic Avacha Bay by the Pacific Ocean. The city was founded in the 1740s by explorers including the famous Captain Vitus Bering, who named it after his ships, St. Peter and St. Paul. Its location on a sheltered bay made it an important settlement for trade, fishing, and military operations throughout history. During the Crimean War, Petropavlovsk successfully withstood a siege by Anglo-French forces, showcasing its strategic importance. In World War II, the city even hosted an American naval detachment tasked with building a naval advance base nearby. Fishing, especially salmon and crab, has been a cornerstone of the city's economy for centuries, though poaching remains a challenge today. Petropavlovsk is also prone to earthquakes, with major events recorded in 2020 and 2025 that tested the city's resilience. Despite these challenges, the city remains the vibrant gateway to Kamchatka's volcanoes, hot springs, and untamed wilderness. Over 200 years ago, a massive meteorite landed just south of what is now Krasnoyarsk, shaping the landscape in ways no one could imagine. This extraordinary event marked the beginning of a city that would grow along the banks of the mighty Yenisei River. Originally founded in 1628 as a small Russian fort, Krasnoyarsk started as a humble settlement meant to protect the frontier. As years passed, the town slowly expanded, connecting to nearby villages through the Siberian route, welcoming traders and travelers from far and wide. By the 19th century, workshops and factories began to appear, and the discovery of gold drew even more settlers eager for new opportunities. Despite its growing industry, the city never lost its natural charm, surrounded by forests, rivers, and dramatic cliffs. In fact, just 10 kilometers south lies the Stolby Nature Sanctuary, where towering rock formations invite hikers and nature lovers to explore. The city also carries a rich history, from hosting political exiles to enduring the turmoil of the Russian Civil War. During the Soviet era, massive factories and a hydroelectric dam transformed Krasnoyarsk into a powerful industrial center, blending human achievement with Siberia's wild beauty. Nestled along the Angara River, Irkutsk is one of the oldest and most important cities in Siberia. Founded in 1661, it became a key gateway to Lake Baikal, the deepest freshwater lake in the world. During the Russian Empire, Irkutsk became a place of exile for intellectuals, political activists, and artists, which gave the city a unique cultural depth. Because of this rich history, the city earned the nickname Paris of Siberia, celebrated for its art, literature, and elegant architecture. Irkutsk also plays a central role in education and culture, attracting students and travelers who bring life and energy to the streets. Nestled in the middle of Lake Baikal, Ogoy Island is a tiny, mysterious gem surrounded by crystal waters. This uninhabited island stretches almost 2 kilometers, with just grasses, shrubs, and a few larches dotting its landscape. At the very top, the Buddhist stupa of enlightenment stands proudly, welcoming visitors and offering a moment of peace. In summer, visitors reach the island by boat, and in winter, the frozen landscape becomes an adventurous path. But nature here is delicate, and every visitor must tread lightly to protect this fragile ecosystem. High in the Altai Mountains, Akhim Lake sits at the foot of the majestic Mount Belukha. Its name means white water in the Altai language, a hint at the glacier-fed waters that feed the lake. In calm weather, the lake mirrors the snow-white Belukha peaks, creating a magical, mirror-like reflection. Barnaul is the largest city in Altai Krai, Russia, where the Barnolka and Ob rivers meet. Founded by the wealthy Demidov family in the 18th century, it became a hub for copper and silver production. The city officially gained its status in 1771 and soon became the center of silver production in the Russian Empire. Today, Barnaul is a vibrant cultural, educational, and industrial center in Siberia, blending history and modern life. Did you know there's a mountain town in Russia where snow can pile up 4 meters deep by winter? This is Shymbulak, a hidden gem nestled between the Altai and Sayan mountains. Named after the Sheregashev brothers, who discovered iron ore here in 1912, Shymbulak has grown into one of Russia's most famous ski resorts. From November through March, crisp, powdery snow blankets the slopes, perfect for skiing and snowboarding. Beginners can glide down long, gentle bunny hills, while experts challenge steep, natural off-piste trails. With 19 ski lifts, this resort opens earlier than anywhere else in Russia, offering a 6-month-long skiing season. In summer, Sary-Chelek mountain transforms into a bright green jewel, standing out against the gray peaks around it. The local shore people add rich cultural history, once known for foraging and hunting in these mountains. Whether it's skiing breathtaking views or experiencing mountain culture, Shymbulak promises an adventure you'll never forget. Rising over the Ob River, the Bugrinsky Bridge isn't just a crossing, it's a statement of innovation. Completed in 2014, The bridge stretches more than 2 kilometers, connecting key parts of Novosibirsk with elegance and strength. Its central arch soars 70 meters, creating a dramatic silhouette against the Siberian sky. Engineers used a network arch design where tensioned cables cross each other, giving the Bugrinsky Bridge stability and lightness previously thought impossible for such spans. This technique, invented in the 1950s in Norway, allows the bridge to carry 6 lanes of traffic while resisting Novosibirsk's harsh winters. Decorative touches at each end echo traditional local symbols, blending modern engineering with the city's cultural identity. The bridge won the FIDIC Award of Merit in 2016, recognized worldwide for its quality and sustainability. The Bugrinsky Bridge stands not only as a vital transport route, but as a symbol of human ingenuity, meeting the natural beauty of Novosibirsk. Flowing out of Lake Baikal, the Angara snakes through Irkutsk Oblast and Krasnoyarsk Krai, shaping Siberia's landscape for thousands of years. Stretching over 1,800 kilometers, the river is the largest tributary, feeding into the mighty Yenisei, connecting distant regions by water. Its deep, fast-moving waters have powered local communities for generations, providing both fish and transport in a land of harsh winters. For centuries, indigenous peoples relied on the Angara for survival, navigating its currents and settling along its fertile shores. Imagine a forest so vast it covers an area larger than Texas, yet much of it is barely touched by humans. That is the West Siberian taiga. Stretching across the West Siberian plain, this ecoregion forms one of the largest continuous lowland forests on Earth. Flat lowlands, bogs, and wetlands dominate the terrain, creating a mosaic of habitats for the hardy species that survive here. The taiga's peatlands store enormous amounts of carbon, making the region a critical part of Earth's climate system. Despite its size, biodiversity in plants is limited due to the harsh climate and lack of natural refuges, yet the ecosystem remains resilient. Long before maps and borders, the Sayan Mountains stood as a natural divide between Russian and Mongolian worlds. These rugged peaks in southern Siberia rise above 3,000 meters, their slopes feeding tributaries that form the Great Yenisei River. During the Ice Age, massive glaciers once covered the region, carving valleys and leaving traces still visible today. The East Sayan Range alone held ice sheets stretching over 12,000 square kilometers, with tongues reaching nearly to Lake Baikal. The Sayan Mountains were closed to outsiders for decades during the Soviet period, keeping their ecosystems remarkably untouched. For centuries, the mountains were more than just geography. They marked cultural frontiers, shaping trade, travel, and identity. The Sayan Mountains remain a symbol of Siberia's raw beauty and deep history, where nature still holds the memory of ice. In Yakutia, also called the Sakha Republic, the ground never truly thaws. The land is locked in permafrost. Covering more than 3 million square kilometers, it is the largest subnational territory in the world, bigger than Argentina. Temperatures here have reached the coldest ever recorded in the Northern Hemisphere, dropping below 67 degrees Celsius in Oymyakon. Yet in summer, parts of Yakutia can warm above 30 degrees Celsius, making it a land of extraordinary contrasts. The indigenous Yakut people migrated from the Lake Baikal region centuries ago, settling along the Lena River and adapting to the severe climate. Over time, they combined herding reindeer with horse breeding and farming, developing traditions still alive today. Russian expansion reached Yakutia in the 17th century, turning it into a province of the empire and reshaping its population. Despite waves of colonization and the hardships of Soviet history, Yakutia has preserved its language, songs, and festivals. This vast republic remains a place where human endurance meets the frozen power of Siberia, telling a story of survival against the cold. This is Lake Kucherla, a glacial jewel in Russia's Altai Mountains, part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site known as the Golden Mountains of Altai. The lake sits at 1,790 meters above sea level, stretches almost 5 kilometers long, and reaches a depth of 55 meters. Its waters shine a milky turquoise color, created by the minerals carried down from ancient glaciers. On all sides, alpine meadows and forested slopes rise into peaks over 3,000 meters high, while waterfalls echo through the valleys. The climate here is harsh. January averages minus 18 degrees Celsius. July barely reaches plus 11 degrees Celsius. And sudden frosts can strike even in midsummer. Around the lake grow rare plants, while animals such as elk, lynx, marmots, and even the elusive snow leopard roam the mountains. The lake is also home to grayling fish, and rainbow trout were introduced here in 1997. Reaching Lake Kucherla isn't simple, but the reward is a wild, untouched landscape of turquoise water, alpine forests, and endless mountain silence. More than 2,700 meters above sea level, in the mountains of Kazakhstan, stands a giant eye looking into the universe. It's not a legend, not science fiction. It's the Issyk-Kul Observatory, a place where the Earth whispers to the stars. Construction started in 1975, and by 1981, the first telescope, a Zeiss 1000, was already capturing images of the sky. In the 1980s, work began on a much larger 1.5-meter telescope, but the collapse of the Soviet Union stopped the project for more than 20 years. It wasn't until 2014 that the construction restarted, and in 2016, the new telescope finally saw its first light. The observatory sits in one of the best astroclimatic zones in Kazakhstan, with calm air, clear skies, and almost no light pollution. Because of these perfect conditions, scientists can observe distant stars and galaxies with incredible detail. Even today, the Issyk-Kul Observatory continues its mission, operated by the Fesenkov Astrophysical Institute, welcoming researchers to study the universe from this quiet mountain valley. That hill is Kuktobe, standing 1,100 meters above sea level, and it has been a gathering place for locals for centuries. In the past, people came here to celebrate May Day in the summer and to ski and sled in the winter. Today, you can float up by cable car or drive up the winding road to reach the park on top. Here, you'll find cafes, fun rides, and wide platforms where the whole city stretches out beneath your feet. Look down the slope and you'll spot the Almaty Tower, a giant 372-meter structure that once broadcast signals across almost all of Kazakhstan.
Engineers picked this hill back in the 1970s because its height made it perfect for reaching distant towns and villages.
The soil here was unstable, so they had to drill hundreds of deep wells to keep the hill from sliding away. Now, Kuktobe is more than just a viewpoint. It's a symbol of Almaty, where visitors ride the Ferris wheel and watch the city glow at night. Centuries ago, caravans loaded with silk and spices stopped at a busy marketplace on the Silk Road. That place is now Shymkent, a city that has grown into the third largest in Kazakhstan. Even its name carries history. Shymkent comes from ancient Sogdian words, meaning the city in the grass. Its importance hasn't faded. Today, it sits just 120 kilometers north of Tashkent, keeping its role as a crossroads of trade and culture. Over 1 million people call this city home, making it a vibrant mix of Kazakhs, Uzbeks, and other ethnic groups. Modern Shymkent is easy to reach, thanks to its international airport, major railway station, and extensive bus network. But the heart of the city is still its blend of tradition and progress, where bazaars stand beside new industries in agriculture and manufacturing. This energy of learning and business is reshaping Shymkent into one of Kazakhstan's fastest-growing cities. Back in 1879, Russian settlers founded a small town here and named it Nikolaevsk, after Tsar Nicholas II. That little settlement grew into Kostanay, now the capital of its region in northern Kazakhstan. The city lies on the Tobol River, about 570 kilometers northwest of Astana, right on the vast steppe of the West Siberian Plain. The city's name changed several times, from Nikolaevsk to Kostanay, before finally becoming Kostanay after Kazakhstan's independence. Kostanay also values culture, with hundreds of libraries, 8 museums, and even 2 theaters to explore. Almaty is the biggest city in Kazakhstan, with more than 2 million people living here. The city sits in the foothills of the Trans-Ili Aktau Mountains, close to the border with Kyrgyzstan. It stands about 700 to 900 meters above sea level, giving it fresh air and great mountain views. Almaty used to be the capital of Kazakhstan from 1929 until 1997. Even after the capital moved to Astana, Almaty stayed the country's cultural and financial center. It's often called the Southern Capital because of its influence and modern lifestyle. The city has its own metro system, plus buses and trolleybuses that connect every district. The city is famous for its green spaces, with tree-lined streets, fountains, and large urban parks. Nearby attractions include Big Almaty Lake, the Medayu skating rink, and Shymbulak ski resort. Almaty also belongs to UNESCO's Creative Cities Network, recognized worldwide for its music culture. Tomsk sits on the banks of the Tom River and is one of the oldest cities in Siberia, founded in 1604. The city began as a fortress built by 200 Cossacks under a decree from Tsar Boris Godunov. Its location was chosen to protect local allies from neighboring Kyrgyz tribes, establishing a strategic outpost in the region. In 1804, Tomsk became the administrative center of the new Tomsk Governorate, covering modern Novosibirsk, Kemerovo, and Krasnoyarsk. The discovery of gold in 1830 brought a wave of settlers, boosting the city's growth and regional importance.
Despite being bypassed by the Trans-Siberian Railway in the 1890s, Tomsk reinvented itself as an educational hub. By World War II, 1 in 12 residents was a student, earning the city the nickname Siberian Athens. After the October Revolution, Tomsk played a role in the White Movement before being integrated into the Soviet administrative structure. During World War II, factories were relocated to Tomsk, and the city continued to grow as an industrial and educational center. Tomsk remains a city of history, culture, and learning, blending Siberian heritage with modern life. Bayrak Tower is the most iconic symbol of Astana, the capital of Kazakhstan. Its name means tall poplar tree, and the tower was built in 1997 to mark the city becoming the new capital. The structure stands 105 meters high, with a golden sphere 22 meters wide at the top. Inspired by a Kazakh legend about the Tree of Life and the bird, Samruk, Bayrak has become a must-visit attraction. Sadie sits in a wide valley where the Shymbulak River runs, its waters born from the Tian Shan glaciers. The people live simply, raising livestock and welcoming travelers with warm tea and home-cooked meals. Many families open their doors as guest houses, giving visitors a chance to sleep in wooden homes instead of hotels. Unlike the fast pace of city Almaty, life here is unhurried, filled with the sounds of rivers and grazing animals. Though tourism is growing, traditions remain strong, and hospitality is still at the heart of the community.
Bartagay Lake is a reservoir hidden in the Almaty region, created in the early 1980s on the Shymbulak River.
The lake is surrounded by mountains that shield it from the wind, making the area calm and scenic. Traces of ancient ditches and burial mounds show that Bartagay was once sacred land where people held rituals and celebrations. In the 17th century, Ongyan Kyiv grew into one of Mongolia's largest religious centers, housing over 1,000 monks. By the 18th century, the complex stretched on both sides of the Ongi River, with nearly 30 temples. Visiting today, you see both ruins and new walls, a reminder of tragedy, but also of the will to begin again. Built to honor Mongolian and Soviet soldiers who died in World War II, the Zaisan Memorial looks over the city like a watchful guardian. It shows the Soviet role in Mongolia's independence in 1921 and the defeat of the Japanese army at Khalkhin Gol in 1939. Visitors climb more than 300 steps to reach Zaisan, and those who begin at the base of the hill take on 612 steps in total. At the top, the reward is a sweeping view of Ulaanbaatar and the Tul River cutting through the valley. Rising 20 meters high in Arkhangelsk province, Taikar Chulu Rock looks like a giant stone dropped from the sky. Legends say it was thrown by the warrior Burkhan-Bulak to crush a serpent crawling from the earth, only to land here by mistake. Over the centuries, travelers carved more than 150 inscriptions onto its surface in runic, Uyghur, Mongolian, and Tibetan scripts. Each line is a trace of history, from ancient nomads to later cultures that passed through the region. It remains a place where legend, language, and memory meet on the steppe. The Issyk-Kul River once flowed strong across central Mongolia, stretching more than 400 kilometers from the Kapchagay Mountains. In rainy years, its waters reach the Ulan Lake Basin, bringing life to an otherwise dry land. Still, contamination remains a concern, and water continues to be heavily used for farming, livestock, and towns. Across Mongolia's grasslands stand tall stone pillars called the deer stones, carved nearly 3,000 years ago. Decorated with flying deer, weapons, and sacred symbols, they reveal the beliefs of a vanished world. Archaeologists have found about 1,500 deer stones, with the great majority rising here in Mongolia. They date to the Late Bronze and Early Iron Age, roughly between 1,400 and 700 BCE. The stones are often linked with nearby burial mounds, showing their role in rituals for the dead. Their art predates the Scythian cultures by centuries, offering a glimpse into the roots of nomadic life. Bronze Age traditions like metalworking, seen in neighboring cultures such as the Karasuk, influenced their creation. Today, the deer stones still carry the lines of ancient hands, cut into granite with patience and purpose. Standing among them, you feel the presence of early herders who once ruled these wide steppes. The Republic of Khakassia, in southern Siberia, carries echoes of civilizations dating back to the Yenisei Kyrgyz state of the 6th century AD. Mountains dominate much of Caucasia, their slopes hiding ancient burial grounds and sacred sites that reveal the lives of nomadic tribes. Rivers and lakes thread through Caucasia, supporting communities that have adapted over centuries to harsh winters and rich summers. When the Mongols invaded in the 13th century, most of the Kyrgyz people migrated south, but those who remained in Caucasia became the ancestors of today's Caucasus. Russian expansion under Peter the Great in the 18th century brought forts and settlers to Caucasia, forever changing the cultural landscape. Over time, many Caucasus people adopted Russian Orthodoxy while preserving elements of Caucasia's indigenous traditions. The Soviet period added another layer, reshaping population and governance. Yet Caucasia kept its deep connection to land and heritage. Founded in 1809, Gandan Tegchinlan once hosted thousands of monks, its halls filled with prayers and study. When the communist government shut down most temples in 1939, this one was left as the only monastery still active in Mongolia.
From 1944 until the late 1980s, it stood almost alone, preserving Buddhism through decades of restrictions.
Inside rises a giant statue of Avalokiteshvara, made of bronze and covered in gold, reaching 26 meters high. The monastery is not only a religious site but also a symbol of cultural survival. Kemerovo's story began in 1721, when coal was first discovered in the Kuzbas region.
By the mid-1800s, 7 little villages had already grown here, slowly shaping the land we now call Kemerovo.
The first coal mines opened in 1907, and soon a big chemical plant followed in 1916, fueling the city's rapid growth. During World War II, in 1943, it became the capital of Kemerovo Oblast, anchoring Siberia's industrial power. Yenisei is the fifth longest river system in the world and the largest to flow into the Arctic Ocean. Eventually, it pours into the Kara Sea, forming a sprawling delta between the Gaida and Taymyr peninsulas. The Yenisei is the central one of Siberia's three giant Arctic rivers, alongside the Ob and the Lena. Every step through this land brings us closer to stories written across centuries. From rivers that carried life to stones carved by ancient hands, the northern half of Asia holds memories in every corner. Each place we visited is only a glimpse into a world shaped by faith, struggle, and nature's strength. Villages, monasteries, rivers, and monuments still whisper their history to anyone who pauses to listen. But these are not the only voices here. North Asia is vast, and its landscapes are filled with countless more wonders we have yet to explore. This journey has only touched the surface of what the northern half of Asia has to share. And that means the story isn't ending, it's simply waiting for the next chapter. Because there are still many more places, legends, and histories left untold. And with that, our time here closes for today. See you on the next journey.